Well, now I got to go into some of the history of this and of my life in New York City. And so I invite you to have a look at me in the U.S. Army and I was a public information photographer. I got lucky. I don't know. I got this job. It's a really cushy job with it. And so here I am. This is a test for a long telephoto lens, which my assistant took of me. And this is me going home. And now I was very lucky to be stationed in Germany because the Korea War was going on at that time. So I'd love to show you some of the photographs but there just isn't time that I took in Germany because I do enjoy them, and I think there's something there that may think that I may have a career coming up. But this is me with all my flash paraphernalia and my camera headed for the United States. And the good thing about now being out of the Army is I was on the GI Bill. And here I am at Brooks Institute on the GI Bill. And we had a class assignment to photograph the fellow students that were in the class with us. And Gib Wolford took this, but I choreographed what I wanted him to photograph. And so I asked this girl, Jeanette Spencer, who was going to high school at that time, who I knew, if she would pose in these clothes that I had found on State Street in this little room up there. And so that's the start, really. I guess I don't know what it is, but when you have this experience and you look at these clothes and the workmanship on it, I didn't know anything about fashion, but I think there was a little spark that caught my eye. And after I left Brooks, I went straight to New York City. And everybody told me, it's just a terrible place, and you won't find you won't find your dream coming true there. And but I went anyway. I remember leaving the airport, and my mother, I'm sure, thought that the minute I got off the plane in New York, that a sack would be thrown over my head, and I would be sold into white slavery or something like that. I was been fortunate enough to work with three very talented. I was an assistant, but my first job was with a photographer by the name of Ray Kelman, and he did editorial for 17 magazine, and he also had lots of fashion clients. And there, for the first time, I saw all these top models in Vogue and Harper's Bazaar walking through his door, and it was a thrill to watch them work in front of the camera. And I had all kinds of duties there, and I worked in the darkroom, and I emptied the waste baskets, and I helped him at the camera, and whatever I was doing. I was his slave. I earned very little salary, but I really needed to get in and learn about what New York was all about and how it was like to live there, because I'm from a small town. But this is me when I opened my business. I'm 29 here, and so this is my studio. That little that tower with the Morris sign on it, my studio is directly below that, and it's just a few doors from Fifth Avenue. It was such a lucky find, but it wasn't so lucky in a sense that I already knew about the studio because it belonged to my ex-employer, Wilhela Cushman of the Ladies' Home Journal, who took me to Paris twice, and she's the one who had the studio but wasn't using it anymore. So I took over the rent from this, and it was the perfect place for me to start. And this is the interior of the studio. It was one big room, and for a dressing room, I just had a screen and a little tiny closet-side dark room, a little closet-side dark room that was built over the stairwell. The bathroom was a half a flight down, and it had a 9-foot terrace that went all around, which was really spectacular. And this is my mother. She was my champion. She really, really encouraged me all my life to pursue whatever it was that I liked. And she was just a wonderful woman.